everyone, it's Dolly. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today I have a thrift store book haul to share with all of you. I did pick up a few other pieces, but for the most part, it's mostly books. And I had actually purchased these a couple of weeks ago and just haven't had time to upload the video. So I thought I'd do that really quick this morning. So you guys, let's go ahead and move along. So the very first book that I found was this, and it's very aged, but I didn't care because first of all, it was only, I believe, 50 cents. A lot of the golden books that I purchase at this thrift store, depending on the condition, they can go as low as 50 cents. And I think because this looks so old, that's the reason why. But honestly, I would have paid $2 for this only because it is vintage. And as you can see, it's Frosty the Snowman. It's written on, but when I go to alter this, I can always cover this up. And let's see here. Some of the pages are also written on, but I don't mind. And this was printed in 1975, but it has the copyright date as old as 1950. So I know this is an older version, and I just love the illustrations in this book. And I am planning to one day hopefully create a Christmas altered children's golden book. So I would love to make one using this book. So again, that was only 50 cents. The next book that I found is also a very old book. I feel like this has been used and worn, but I love the illustrations. It's the Golden Book Illustrated Dictionary, and I'm going to go ahead and flip through this, and let's see the print on this. Copyright 1961 and 1951. So it is really a children's dictionary, but look at all of the colorful illustrations. And I would love to use these pages in a junk journal. And this was only $1. So yeah, I don't feel too bad about utilizing these pages for junk journals because I feel like that's a great way to repurpose this, and especially since this book is already falling apart. Again, that was only $1. The next book that I found is one that I have been looking for, and I was so excited. I actually randomly walked into this thrift store right after work thinking I wasn't going to find anything, and I found this book when I was about to leave. It was mixed up with the cookbooks, and so I was really excited because I had been seeking this book and searching for it for a while. This is a child craft book, and I think I may have mentioned before that I grew up with child craft books. My parents had a subscription to them, and I loved this the story time or the storytelling and poems book. Well, when I saw this, I didn't recognize it because when we used to get the books, it had a different cover. My parents ordered the books. It was like in the early 70s is when we were receiving them. And this book is older than that. But when I opened it up, I immediately recognized all of the pictures, and it was so nostalgic for me. I remembered all of the pictures in this because I would stare at that book. So what this is an older version of the books that we had subscribed to, the child craft books, but everything inside, all the illustrations, all the stories, exactly the same. I just remember that our cover was kind of like a beige and almost like a light green or kind of like an army green with beige mix, and so that's why I didn't recognize this. But let me go ahead and show you. So this is number 2 child craft, the second edition, not second edition, I'm sorry, it's book 2 of their complete set. And this one is called Storytelling and Other Poems. But let me go ahead and flip through this, and you'll understand why I loved this book so much. Here are the pages, and immediately, I wanted to scream when I saw the pages of these books because my childhood just flashed back before my eyes. And I just remember how much I loved this book and going through all of the stories in this book. I mean, I must have read that book 100 times, if not more. So look at how beautiful all the illustrations in this book are. So there's poems, there's stories, and I tell you, I was seeking this not for the purpose of using it for a junk journal, because I told myself if I ever found this, I would keep it just to have, because it does bring back such great memories of my childhood. If I ever found another one like this or a second one, I would probably take the one that was in not so great condition and use that for my junk journal. But for now, no, this is not going to be torn apart. I'm keeping it. All right, so the next book that I found, oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, this was only $1. So this Mary Englebright book, I was kind of hesitant about purchasing because the pages are so big and I didn't know if I could use them, but when I was flipping through it, I realized that most of the pages were illustrations, and sometimes when I find Mary Englebright books, they're like recipe books or some other kind of books that don't have all of the beautiful, colorful illustrations, at least not on the full pages. So when I saw this, I fell in love with it, and I knew I had to get it because look at all these colorful pages. I can definitely do something with these. And I love, Mary Englebright. All of her illustrations are just gorgeous. And every single page is just so, so cute. And I love that it's a Christmas theme, and I can actually take some of the pages and use them in a Christmas journal. So the next book that I found two of these types of books. This one is called Classics of the Silent Screen, and this is very old, but look at the pages, and this is all about all of the old-time screen actors and actresses, starting from, look at this, 1914, which is really interesting, and I would love to just sit and actually read this book because this kind of stuff really interests me. So The Covered Wagon, 1923. Of course, I wasn't born then, but, I've watched these movies, like the Ten Commandments. Oh my gosh, every year we watch this movie. Growing up, it was just something that we did every year. Let me see here. Son of the Sheik. See, a lot of these movies. The Scarlet Letter I've heard of, but I don't think I've ever watched. The Black Pirate. So many of these movies I have heard of, Ben-Hur, and some I have watched, but not all. So I would love to go through this, take the time and actually read it. But isn't that so neat? I love that they have a book like this. And I don't know if I'll be using these pages or if I'll just be keeping this book, but I thought it was a great deal for $1. Actually, I think this was $1.50. Yeah, I think these were $1.50 each. But isn't that cool? So yeah, let me show you the next one. So this one was Classics of the Silent Screen. And then the next one is All Talking, All Singing, All Dancing. And let me go through these pages, and this one's pretty interesting too because this is like all about the actors and actresses who did a lot of the dancing and musicals and like the road shows, Frank Sinatra. I used to love watching these movies because growing up, my dad loved these movies, and so I would sit there and I would watch these movies with him, and I really was fascinated by all of the musicals and all of the dancing. So there's like so many old-time actresses like Nancy Carroll in here, whose pictures are just amazing. And not just her, there's like so many others whose names I don't even recognize. Marilyn Miller, Alexander Gray, Bernice Claire, like these names I just don't recognize, but I'm sure that if I've watched the movie, I would know, because so many of these movies I recognize from watching them when I was younger. So, yeah, I loved Frank Sinatra. I loved Fred Astaire. I loved Bob Hope. I loved all the road movies. So, so fun, you guys. So I thought this was kind of a neat book. And Shirley Temple, oh my gosh, I loved watching Shirley Temple. Liz Taylor, you remember all of her movies. So, so cute. So yeah, this has some really interesting photos, and I'd love to take time and read this book as well. Doris Day, she was one of my favorites. Lauren Bacall, and Humphrey Bogart. I'm totally dating myself, like I said, because a lot of you younger people probably don't even know or recognize a lot of these names. Julie Andrews. And you guys, the younger ones, would know Julie Andrews from like Princess Diaries and those, you know, not so old movies. And look at this, Barbara Streisand. She was so young here. So yeah, this is going to be interesting to read and look through. I can't wait. So I found one more book, and it's not really a book. It's an address book. But I had to get it because this looks very vintage to me. And I thought this would be fun because look at the pages. How cool would it be? Because these are sewn in, as you can see right here. These are sewn in, so I can just unthread this and use these pages in my junk journal. And I love the vintage color, and the pages would fit perfectly. And it's a Hallmark address book from who knows when, but you can tell it's very old, and apparently whoever purchased it never used it. So yeah. All right, so the other pieces that I purchased were just miscellaneous pieces. I found some cards, and these are Go Fish cards, but I thought they were really cute. And these were 75 cents, but look at that. It's whale, Go Fish. There's whales, there's turtles. So I love the fact that it's all sea creatures. And, you know, I love doing coastal themes, so I thought this would be really fun to use in a coastal themed, beach themed, ocean themed type junk journal. And 75 cents, yeah, I wasn't going to pass that up. All right, so then one more set of flashcards is the United States. And I had to get this because these are so informative. And I thought they were really cute. So you have the United States on the flashcard. Okay, this is just what, it shows all the states. So here you have everything. So from Wyoming, for example, it shows the capital, the nickname, the statehood, the bird, the flower, the motto, facts, and then it has the state map, or just sectioned out from the state map. And Wisconsin, Colorado, Alabama. So it has all of the states, and I think this is something that would be fun to use in a junk journal as well. And again, this one too was 75 cents, and didn't want to pass that up. Okay, so one more thing that I purchased, and it was the last item, was these recipe cards. This came in a pack just like this, and I love these because they, to me, look vintage. They may not be vintage, but I really, really like them. And let me show you what they look like. You could tell they've been opened already, but there's still quite a few in here. So they're very cute. There's 3 designs. I'm going to take one of each of them out and show you guys. So these would definitely be fun to stick in a junk journal. So this says recipe for, and it says from, makes, made in the USA. And then this just has vegetables and flowers on it. And then this one has a gingerbread man with gumdrops. So thought that was really cute. And that's it. That was my purchase from the thrift store, and I'm really happy because I feel like I totally scored, and even if I didn't find anything else, I am so happy that I was able to find this child craft book. So I hope you guys enjoyed this thrift haul, and thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.